Dude, where have y'all been at? So it has been a freaking minute, dude. Frankly, I'll keep it 100 with you. I got sick of YouTube, honestly. The amount of work that goes into the videos for the amount of views that we were pulling, I just got sick of it, sick and tired of it. Wasn't worth it to me anymore. So, but we're still moving on. I have been working every weekend, and I'm gonna show y'all where we are at. And now we are turning the page into some more exciting stuff, such as the steering. Honestly, been pretty busy. We stopped filming before Labor Day weekend. Labor Day weekend, we completely tore apart the garage again. Now on the interior, I am basically 100% besides this door. This door is the only piece I pretty much have left. And this thing is ready to go to my shop for paint and body work pretty much. We have come in here and done some pretty exciting stuff that I don't mind showing y'all real fast. Well, let's start right here. So since last time you were here, we completely finished all of these pans out. If you remember, this was open. It's 100% welded up and finished besides seam sealer and bedliner stuff. We completely chopped this tunnel down. Remember how this thing comes straight across last time y'all were here? All right, so I cut some curve into this thing, as you can see, to clear it on the seats. Remember how it was hitting on the seats? Yeah, I took care of that, completely capped that off, completely closed that up. So that's 100% done. Seat belts are 100% done. The back is all bolted in, so all of our seat belt pieces are bolted in. We finished this piece out right here to close this into the roll bar. I mean, just a freaking ton of stuff I have been accomplishing, and I just left the phone down, honestly. We redid this right here, so I don't know if you were even around, or if you remember, I kind of stuck a hole saw or through a step down bit through there to get the cable through. So I matched the slope on this. So I finished capping this off to match it to that, and then we just got to put a piece of rubber to seal that up when our cable goes through there. So that took a little bit of time to get that 100% finished. We have chopped the trim. We are like almost completely done with the trim on the inside of the car. Super exciting. We busted out our box, so this was exciting when we come through here. And I open this up, and everything is bagged and tagged in here from where I took the car apart. So this was a good turning point when I was able to go get this box out the shed and start that. I needed that because I needed interior screws, because I have come through here, and let's see if we can show it over here on this side. We've completely done all the trim around the windows. So all of this trim in here, so all the window trim, you know you have to have trim around your windows, everything has been cut and chopped. All right, this takes a lot of time. This is where honestly a lot of people quit, is the interior trim. Is you'll see a car that's completely chopped on the outside, and then it won't be finished on the inside because somebody got lazy. And we grabbed this chair, pull this up, check this out. This piece has been completely chopped down too. The vent windows have been removed. I got them out of here. I haven't deleted them yet, so we are going one piece glass. I'm moving the track over. The track is out. So the track has been separated down here with spot welds. It's completely taken out the car. It's ready to move over. I got enough clearance right here on the hinges. I didn't remove this inner piece because I wanted that to be very last minute when I decide 1000% that we are going solid piece. So I'm like this close to cutting the plywood buck. And in order to do that, I have to there's another support underneath here that I've already removed most of the way. Just got to finish that out. We put the handles back on. Putting the handles back on, we ran into a nut cert that was a little damaged. We had to order a special tap that is uncommon size. I think it was 12 by 24 or something. Very uncommon, but I was able to find one on eBay, remove it, and get it tapped on that side. So we got our armrest back in. So all the armrest hardware, the armrest is put back in. Basically, these are pretty simple door panels. We put the taillights back in the car. So if you look at that, we made the executive decision that we are keeping factory taillights because we are literally within weeks of taking this thing to paint and body. The front trim, we have not finished. I cut it down and I went and put it in, but it doesn't go in like everything else. So it actually, the spacing of it is determined by all the crap that gets stacked in here. So rubber gaskets and the glass and everything determines how far that sits out. So the farther that sits out, the bigger your opening gets. So we literally can't chop the interior trim on the windshield until the glass is in. Like, it's gonna be a way later thing, unfortunately. So I promise I haven't quit on the car, haven't gave up. I've actually been working. I just basically took a break from YouTube because frankly, it was annoying me to pick up the camera and balance the filming aspect of it with the work aspect. But we're back. I'm gonna try to take y'all along. Let's dive right into rock and roll. Let's get these fenders pulled off real fast. Let's see here. I think these were 13, maybe 12. Ooh, maybe standard, maybe a half. Half it is. Get these fenders yanked off, and that's going to be able to expose the master cylinder to change that. And then I'm going to show y'all how we're going to do the steering rods. Of course, different sizes. Gotta love it when you use scrap random bolts to put stuff together. But as soon as we can get all of this put on or finished up, then we're gonna be able to put the legit bolts in. Right now, it is just whatever we can find to make things stay on the car. We do also have the bumper laying here on the ground because we are literally about to move into the bumper mount bracket pieces. So basically we gotta have a way to bolt the front bumper to this. Now I gotta bring the other fender home so we can mock it up where it needs to be so we can center the bumper and all that stuff. And we're gonna get them welded to the frame because when this thing goes to the shop for the paint and body on the cab, hopefully we're gonna go ahead and 100% finish out the frame, including paint, fuel lines, I think brake lines, brake tabs, shocks, all that. All right, so this was our other Astro van master cylinder that I purchased recently off eBay. As you can see, it's a different type. It has the smaller reservoir in the front versus just this big solid reservoir. Now, when our fender was on here, this reservoir is actually really close to our fender. I could definitely have made it work and probably used it. However, I wanted something a little bit more space and wiggle room. If you have been here all the way from the start, then you remember that when we did the pedals, we absolutely put them as far as this way we could. We got the P-pump and everything here that we have to deal with, so we can't get it too much farther there. And then going this way puts us close to the tires. Now, this is the setup that we built this master cylinder in at ride height. So when we come here and we let the air out of our air suspension, because it was just down whenever I found this and then I looked it up, you're going to see that our tire is going to lay in on our master cylinder. Now I did not catch this when we originally did this, but this right here, I mean, literally, our tire is crammed into it. Going with this also puts the ports on the same size facing the tire. So what we need is a master cylinder that the ports go that way so that we can run the brake lines that way. Now, when this vehicle is bagged fully down like this, we don't have to worry about anything moving because the vehicle will be stopped, then it will be laid out and nothing will be moving. So as long as it's not like crazy amount of pressure on it or anything, we're completely fine. We just need the brake lines to go that way. So all we're going to be looking for on this master cylinder is just the GM 2-bolt pattern. Now you also have this right here, the size of this, which they're all really close. And then you're going to have the depth that the push rod is going to go in and out of the master cylinder. We know that the push rod, at the end of the day, we can make that thing work. Like with racing, you modify, we don't care about the push rod. That is the least of our worries. We just need to get these lines over. So it looks like what it's going to be first glance is probably a C4 or no, a C3, I think it was a C3, C4 era of the Corvettes. I just found one on eBay. They don't look too expensive at all. And they actually will put our lines out on the passenger side of the body. Let's get this master cylinder taken off out of our way so that we can move on to the steering that we are doing today. Let's see here. Gotta love how I do not know the sizes of what I'm working on. Wow, okay, so I think that's actually gonna be metric, which is interesting because I didn't even think that. Yep, 15 millimeter. It's sunny outside, but I can hear the thunder off in the background rolling in. I'm really praying that it gets nasty here fast, because I sure would love the rain. So if you follow along on all the builds, you remember when we did this. Now, Mike promises me that once these are locked in, these nuts are not locked in right now, that these tie rods will not flip around. I'm trusting Mike's level of expertise, because I am worried about that. All we did on the steering, if we catch back up briefly, is we put one tab on, and then we put some scrap bolts on, some scrap spacers to make the bolts tight, and that's it. So we still need to finish up the other tab on the inside. These are our tie rods. We have a bump steer kit down here. If you're not familiar with this suspension setup, it's wild, so you might want to back up. Sweet Manufacturing did give us this rack. Basically, the issue that we ran in with, to catch you up real fast because it's been a minute, is we needed a steering rack that would basically fit between the lower control arms. So your lower control arm bolt is about right here and about right here. The problem is that when you get something that short, then you'll have no room left. So you basically have to have a rack that is skinny, but a tie rod spread that is wide. But you also need the tie rod pivot points to be in line with your lower control arm. So that's our lower control arm bolt down there. This is our tie rod pivot point. This is how you eliminate bump steer and stuff like that, and you'll get a better ride out of your setup. So being we could not screw, this is a typical tie rod in right here, all right, that they do custom. It screws into your shaft, your steering shaft. It goes like this. We needed to back it up, but maintain. So this is the wild and crazy setup that they use. Circle track cars and stuff run this kind of setup, and it's freaking amazing. But we have to finish up all of these tabs. Now our piece is right here where it is labeled. So it is down here, down low like that, and it is going to shoot up through there up to the steering rack, meaning that we're going to need a support piece. All right, in there we have to also put the power assist in here somewhere, and we have to mount the cylinder on the front that actually turns all of this. So you got a ram on the front that turns all this. Let me show you what they sent over to us. This is my last setup. I think when this is all said and done, this is gonna be the most expensive piece on the car. I've got like, I think $2,000 in this steering setup, which is pretty crazy for a budget build. I guess when I say budget build, I don't mean 100% budget build, but I definitely mean we have been watching the dollar and trying to avoid spending unneeded money where we can. Basically, I learned from the race car. When I sold the race car, there was over $120,000 invested into that race car. I don't even remember what we sold it for. That's how little I care. I think it was $40,000 or $44,000. I think we sold it for. Some of y'all probably remember better than me. They're just cars to me, but we definitely did not make no money. We weren't intending to make money with that. I basically just wanted it gone and out of my life, and so I got rid of it. This, however, we're gonna hopefully sell one day. Let's see here, DP cylinder L9 nut bolt washer. No clue what that means. But when it comes down to this steering on this unit, I was hands tied on this and had no choice but to go with the custom rack. Just these two pieces. To be transparent with you, this was $900, just shy of $900. But again, sometimes when you build a custom car like this, you will accidentally lock yourself into corners that you can't get out of without money. Money is be the only way that you can get yourself out of that, or a lot of saw blades and time. And we did not want to go the saw blades and time route. With this build, we use the Chevy Silverado suspension. If you're not familiar and you haven't followed along, and so the whole entire front suspension of this car is 09-ish, 10-ish Chevy Silverado, meaning all the control arms and everything are direct replacement off of eBay, Amazon, or your local parts store. These are aftermarket tubular ones, so you're gonna have to go to eBay or Amazon. But if you wanted to put factory ones on from O'Reilly's, Advanced Auto Parts, your local big box store, you could. However, with that, the Silverado is pretty wide of truck, so the control arms are kind of long. Now, the longer your control arm is, the better your car is going to ride. So when we stacked the wheels on the inside of the Plymouth fender and we're using larger wheels, even though if you recall, when we bought these, we pushed the face of the rim all the way out on the front to get us that width. All right, but by the time we stack the rim, the brakes, the spindles, the control arms, they come together really close. I think it was like 18 inches from lower control arm bolt, lower control arm bolt. And that meant absolutely no room left for a traditional steering rack. So we did a ton of research back whenever we went with that rack. I did, by what I mean by when I say we, and it boiled down to pretty much calling up a company and having something custom made for this build. However, a lot of this stuff, besides the ratios and all of that, a lot of this stuff is just straight off the shelf. Even the ratios are off the shelf. It's just they spec'd a certain setup for my build. So I guess here's some instructions we need to look through. So this is going to be our power assist, all right, that we're going to need to basically put in line. So we're going to need to fabricate as a bracket, put this in line, and then this is going to go on the front. I guess this may be what these bolts are for. Why don't it have a bolt on that side? It's kind of weird. All right, let's put this down there and see what we got. And this right here is going to be our double D steering rod. Being I'm custom building one, I had to buy the rod and cut it down. I was gonna use just the 3/4 rod and not the double D, but I decided to use the double D so that hopefully we can just bolt the universal joints on and they'll be able to come off, making disassembly when you take something apart, making it a lot easier is my thought process. If you get the 3/4 round rod, you're gonna have to weld that to your universal joint. You shouldn't drill through it. And I just kind of didn't want to go that route with this piece. So to give you a basic breakdown, everything real fast, this is how basically what we're looking for is. You can see we got some universal joints in here, which I've already got. This is going to be our pump reservoir, and this is our steering rack setup. So this would be the outer tie rods where ours is mounted up here. This goes in the front. So I think we're missing this clamp. We're going to have to call them back up and get that clamp. So what we're trying to do today is A, mount this, and then B, figure out where all of these lines are going to pass. This is going to be our double D steering shaft, which is this piece right here, and this is our power assist. So this is our power assist. So let's figure out where that's going to go in, and we're going to have to make some custom brackets. All right, so for your setup, this is basically what I mean by a support thing. So support bearing, let me show you. I ordered one just in case you're building something. So you can get these, it's just a Heim joint like this, and this is gonna support the 3/4 rod. Now, it should also support this 3/4 double D, because the double D should just be a 3/4 rod cut down. And sure enough, it does, so it slips on just like that. This is gonna hold your steering shaft up. So if you have multiple joints, this is left over off the Comet, the race car, where it was tacked on. We had a universal joint here and a universal joint here. We had it pinned on for mock-up right here. But basically, if you can't have all these universal joints, so this thing's gonna flop around. So you have to physically build a tab so that it can support, so that this doesn't flop all around. Now in our setup, I ordered one because I thought I was gonna need it. But in our setup, if you notice here, that basically our pump is gonna kind of be like the support as long as we can get it in a good area. Now, if we need a support, then we have one right here. But this you can just get on eBay or Amazon as just a steering shaft support Heim joint, or Heim joint steering shaft support. All right, and then you're gonna need your universal joints, which again, Amazon or eBay is what I recommend. And these, when I ordered from Sweet Manufacture, I got the recommendations on the sizes they are. So one end's gonna be splined, like this is gonna be splined, so this might be for the pump side or the steering rack, and the other end is gonna be for the double D. So the double D will sit in there, and then you take an Allen set screw, tighten down your bolts on the side of the double D, and then lock them down with that. So we're gonna need 3 of these, and we'll figure out what size these go to, and then we're just gonna, first thing first is gonna be to mount this pump and get it in a good location. This one's gonna be the same thing, so splined on that end, double D, spline, double D, spline, double D. So now we just come to our pump and get these rubber pieces off. Hands are a little slippery, rubber's a little tight. Get something to help get that off. Okay, and then these, we're gonna need a Allen. On this setup, your pump actually shares the same spline as the steering rack on one side. They're supposed to, that's not right. I think they gave us the wrong information, which really sucks for me. Yeah, all right, I either ordered wrong or they gave me wrong. Let's check the steering rack. So it's that one. Not that one. All right, so. I wish I would have known that because I just got off the phone with the guy. Let's see here. One of these is fine thread on this, and then one's coarse thread. So we got to figure out that coarse thread size. I wonder if it will say it on here. Of course it don't. It would have been very nice if they would have put the U-joint spline sizes in their instructions, so I don't have to call them again, because I just got off the phone with them because I needed this clamp. So on the front of our pump right here, you got to have a clamp that bolts it on this side. It gets 2 bolts, so that is a clamp. So I just got off the phone with the guy. All right, so the C4 master cylinder didn't work. So our Astro van has the lines on the wrong side. The C4 master cylinder puts the lines on the correct side, but the bolt hole spread is quite not correct. So we're also out of our universal joints. One of them's not the correct size. And now I'm thinking maybe we'll switch from the double D to a straight shaft, because I forgot that we actually have to adapt to the Ford steering column piece that comes out the firewall. So we're just all along wrong on all kinds of stuff. So looks like this is a bust. Back to the drawing board, place an order, and fix this issues.